a greater fire burns. To follow in the footsteps of greatness. To forge a legacy of triumph that survives far beyond our years.
ASTER, eliminate LGD from TI.
The eyes of the faithful are fixed upon them, roaring legions of passionate fans.
Through the throw die fast, 1,000 health, trying to finish up Team Liquid, they did it!
Still, they answer the call to battle.
Arrow connects.
Cena's chasing him down.
It's over.
GG is called. Tundra. They'll be moving to the upper bracket final.
To endure a fiery crucible time and time again.
Looking like it's over. That's it. GG secret.
They fight to climb a precipice few have conquered, and those who have will sacrifice everything to reach that summit once more. 4 teams battle for ultimate glory. Only one can seize immortality. Who will emerge victorious? The battle begins. King, Skitter, 9, Crystallis, Puppy, Zayak, Resolution,
wisely and crush those responsible.
Team Liquid. the Tumba Man, Insania, Mike, Buxy, Zai.
Choose wisely and crush those responsible.
My will is strong.
Team ASTER. Ori, P-Tor, Boboka, Mone, XXX.
My will is strong.
I said push their racks, not pause for snacks.
Hey, Gabe?
No. Hi, it's Gabe in your lane. It's Gabe Newell. Well, we're tremendously excited that we're all getting the Dota 2 community together again. It's been another crazy year, and during that year, there's just been a lot of incredible Dota played, and some not so incredible Dota being played. But now we're putting on TI 11. I think it's going to be fantastic. And whether you're there in person at the arena or watching from the comfort of your home, I'm so excited to say, welcome to the International.
Welcome to the International Grand Finals.
To the International. It is finals weekend. We got ourselves a sold-out, absolutely packed Singapore indoor stadium. So welcome to that, everybody watching inside the stadium and out, because I know there are a lot of you. There's also a lot of players, 20 players to be exact. You see them standing there, and they are ready to battle it out. Only one team can lift that Aegis, and only one team will be properly remembered at the end of this weekend. Only one World Championship, a lot of pressure. There have already been 16 teams falling down, dropping down like flies here in the lava. And those final 4 teams, the pressure that has been mounting up over the last 5 days, who will crumble under that pressure? Who will thrive under that pressure? We're about to find out, because we are ready to kick off today with some awesome top-tier Dota, and top-tier Dota accompanied by top-tier panelists. That's right, I'm Shiva, I'm your host for today, and we got ourselves Jenkins, Effie, and Lacoste. Couldn't wish myself a better panel. Lacoste, how are you feeling today?
Feeling good, feeling excited. You know, every single time we have the last couple of days of TI, you know, the nerves are going to kick in. You can feel the nerves also of the players. Like, you know that they want to get on the stage and get this going.
Yeah, they want to take that Aegis.
But I'm so excited, though. Everything just feels so real the second you see Gabe on your screen saying, welcome to the International. The butterflies kick in, the excitement kicks in, and I honestly can't wait to see the conclusion of what has been an amazing main stage.
It's true. This is the man that forged the Aegis himself, the man that gifted immortality to Roshan. And finally, after all of this time, we get to see who will become the immortal one, such as Gabe Newell himself.
Or which 5 players will become the immortal one. And coaches, of course, cannot forget those. We've had quite the long road to get to this weekend, and I would not blame you if you missed some of the matches, but here's a little bit of a recap what's happened in terms of brackets. Today, we'll have the matches that are listed with the red there. We're going to kick things off with Liquid versus ASTER, and later today we'll have the upper bracket finals with Secret versus Thunder Esports. And then tomorrow it's lower bracket finals and grand finals time, but that means that this is our finals weekend bracket, and every series that we're going to watch from here on out, Lacoste, is going to be a blockbuster.
Oh, definitely. I mean, look at these names. Secret against Thundra, Aster against Liquid. I don't think you can ask for better matchups. Like, we did see a lot of those matchups, especially in the European region throughout the DPC, so that's going to be a super interesting one. And also, we have, Team Aster against Liquid. They only met once this year, and that was at this TI in the group stage.
Yes, and that was pretty one-sided for Aster. But since then, Liquid has had a little bit of evolving happening, and I think a lot of people will remember where we left off, because our final series that we had last weekend was Liquid versus Aster, and I think that's a series that's going to be in our minds for probably forever. It's definitely going to be in the minds of Team Liquid as we hear them talk about it.
I mean, I think the Thunder series, as a group, that's, our best moment so far. We got away with one.
This throne is going down here and now. Thunder, are you fucking kidding me? Game 1 against Liquid. Unfucking-leavable.
My God, this team, how do they win from that position? They were 2 minutes off buybacks for everybody in that engagement. What a demoralizing way to lose, honestly. They are going to have to mentally reset for that game again.
After game 1, I really felt like death. Like, I don't know, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this to my team? Why am I not strong-willed enough? I didn't take this 0% to lose route that game, and I was really angry at myself. And then I went to bathroom, I started resetting my mind. I was like, here we are again, like against VG Gaming, but this time it's Thunder Awaken. We still gotta win the 2 games, like no matter what we do, go into the next game and like really smash them in that game, and like, yeah, let's go, and for the 3rd game it was truly a roller coaster.
We're gonna see another mega creep situation. How blessed are we today?
It's such a scary position for Thunder, who are the ones making the shot here. They're making the call.
I know this was like one of our most stressful games, for sure. Like, I think everyone was stressed out of their mind.
I kept dying in a very silly way in fights because I never had a guy next to me to infest. I was like, I'm dying every fight. My gold is not going up. I'm probably like the bottom network of every core. Like, we're not winning this game. Like.
They do not have the buybacks, but they do have an Aegis. They have this overwhelming advantage for the next team fight.
But Tumba bought out. He bought out for AC. He is short buyback. 400 gold.
Oh, there's the hook.
The ball.
The first snap. They're trying to deal with this ward, and ends up getting a freebie. Now it's a 4 versus 5, 4 versus 6 with the Aegis.
Everything had to go right. Even like the second to last fight in our base when they pushed, like, I die without buyback, yeah? And a guy dies, and I get assist gold to get my buyback back. And that's the only reason we're actually still in the pushing the base.
And that is going to be enough to be able to finish off a Tumba, but he doesn't have the buyback. Foxy, he's going in. Sign, the second life for him. Get back to the fountain, the Havoc Hammer, pushing him away.
Melting them all.
Running him down, the Bloodstone gets on. Rampage, kill. Rampage on the mid stage, but because Matumba got the buyback, he's going to die once. Nobody else. It's just Dark Mongo. It's just because a 2-on-2. Insania now joining in with them. Dark Mongo's going to try and deal with him where he can. The freezing field going out with the Suns. The bashes doing so much damage with Tumba with the bashes, making it 12. One fall, the other to follow. No buybacks. Team Liquid, they hold again.
It never felt like we were fully out of it, even though maybe the numbers and statistics all said we should have been. And then, at the end of the game, it comes down to literally 1 HP. I think if Mickey dies and Matu's like Infest doesn't save him, then probably game over.
This is a hard fight. You have to pick your jump well. You have to hit these. Look up now. Sacred goes for it. Immediately the blindfold. They're just going to focus all in onto Mickey, and it looks like Mickey. Down to all over the side. Swatch will go over the Rolling Thunder on through them. Mickey surviving through it, and now the Marcy dies, and now they get the stun on the Sacred. Now he's dead as well. 12 seconds. How much can you get in 12 seconds, Liquid? Can you claim top 4 in 5? It's not going to happen. The throat's not dying fast enough. Dark Lagos on two. Just killed him. Punch him in one. Back in. Now the buybacks. Now the comeback. Fight for your life. Won't die fast. 1,000 health. Trying to finish up.
I'm speechless. I'm speechless.
I think it's Arteezu said this at, I think it was Arlington Major. He said, God giveth and God taketh. And yesterday, God giveth.
During the 7 years, that has not happened to me. Even winning TI7 when the last round died, it didn't feel the same. It's just the build-up wasn't there for it. But this time, it really, like hitting top 4 like this, damn, that was the best thing ever happened to me.
Oh, if we only get like one game that lives up to that hype, I'm gonna be happy, and I think the players will be happy with that too. That was insane to watch. Also, it hasn't happened to Matu yet, even though he won TI. I think it's very cool that there's been 3 Mega Creep comebacks ever at TI. Zai has been in every single one of them. That's pretty impressive. And we got to talk a little bit about the Dota as well, because of course we've had a lot of Dota played. We had a lot of heroes picked. There's been 114 heroes picked so far, and that means that there's a couple that are not picked.
Yeah, 8 specifically have not been picked. 219 games, and Purge and I are here to tell you why you're probably not going to see the other 8. Purge, let's get started, my friends. Okay. It's been a lot of Dota, but there's a couple of rejects here. Tell me about Clinks.
Clinks, vulnerable early game. His team fight's weaker than a lot of other carries. He's just not as good ultra late as a lot of other choices.
He's garbage. Get out of here. Wind Ranger.
Farm's mediocre. Not very many people like her. She needs BKB to team fight. She's really bad versus Leshrac. It's a lot of things.
It's a lot of things that sum up to garbage. Boom. Bounty Hunter.
No stuns, no team fight. Like a third as good as a Marcy on your team. Why would you pick Bounty Hunter?
Why would you pick him? Garbage. Get out of here. Get out of here. DK.
Dragonite, let's see, he's survivable, but like he's so much worse than all the other good offlaners. Enigma, Primal Beast, Marcy, Brood, Beast, Matt, should I keep playing?
No, you shouldn't. All I need to hear is garbage. Boom. Treant Protector.
Teams are farming a lot right now, so like tower push defense timings aren't as important, and he's not even that good at it anymore. The heal comes out slower.
Oh, yeah, I'm not on board. He's garbage. Boom. Coddle.
Weak at laning, not good at ganking, tries way too hard to be cool. Lesh doesn't even need mana anymore. He's got Bloodstone as his friend, so why do you need to coddle?
Get him out of here. He's garbage. Boom. Techies.
Decent lane, good damage, but he doesn't have any stuns. His ulti's very counterable. There's just better heroes than Techies.
There's a lot of them. I'm really going to enjoy this one because he's garbage. He's garbage. He's...
Oh, wait. I got it.
Get him, Purge. Get him, Purge. Get him, Purge.
You need this for your own good. You'll get buffed after. Oh, wait, there's one hero left.
Oh, there is. Why are you even here? Nobody likes you. I might think that you're one of the worst things to ever happen to Dota. There is nothing that you are good at. Also, Meepo was uncontested.
That was brutal.
Neil, it made me really sad, and then I got a chuckle, and I feel a little guilty about it, but here we are. We are also here with the first series coming your way very soon. Of course, Liquid is going to face ASTER. It's their only elimination series of today, and I want to make sure that people watching that are tuning in, maybe only for finals weekend, just a recap, what type of Dota do these two teams play? You want to start off with Liquid, Jenkins?
Yeah, Liquid, I mean, It's not like a team you can call like, you know, this is like an aggressive team. They play aggressive or defensive, whatever is needed. Like all around, they play good Dota. But one of the most important things about this team that I think makes them unique is the fact that they don't really play roles. They play heroes. And this is something that's been true for like every iteration of Liquid, that at least the recent ones. where Boxy was playing off lane, and then he can swap to 4 position. Now, of course, he's playing the 4 position. They'll play Matu mid on Sniper, Lone Druid. They'll swap the supports lanes as well. So yeah, this team, the hardest part about them to beat is the fact that they're just hero experts and they can play any lane.
All right, and if we look towards their opponents today, Effie, we got Team ASTER.
Yeah, so Team ASTER for me are incredibly fun to watch because this brings me back a little bit to the ESL Malaysia LAN that recently happened, and ASTER proved to a lot of the fans watching there that individual skill is important, but it's not the most important thing in Dota. ASTER are a very team fight-oriented team. They're always drafting in a way where they can come back from a gold deficit just by virtue of outfighting the enemy team. They play a really tight-knit formation on the map always, and the way that they distribute farm around the map is so intentional. Everything that they do, you feel they've discussed, they've calculated it, and they will always play for their specific timings, right? It doesn't matter if they don't have the items or the gold at certain times. They will hold their areas very well. They will not give up Roshans.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Team ASTER, they've always been in the shadow of LGD because LGD was always performing so well, and they showed that, third place at the Arlington Major and also second at the ESL 1 Malaysia. They came here to play.
They came here to play indeed, and guess what? We came here to watch some Dota 2, and we're going to kick things off for
Had to come back from this 0-2 now against ASTER. It's gonna be wild.
I think a lot of the time when you have this long of a break, it's about not getting into your own head, right? Because you run this mock draft like 100 times and you start overthinking, okay, what are the enemy team going to do against us? Start playing this rock, paper, scissors with yourself. So there's different ways of approaching a 5-day break like this. This is kind of, unprecedented territory for us. Like, are the teams going to bring something new? Are they going to play what they did so far? And so far, nothing too surprising here, I guess you could say. Maybe aside from a first phase Sven ban. Did you expect that?
Well, we just spent 5 days preparing to give the Marcy first pick. So let's see what the plan is.
We highly respected Boxy Marcy all the time. I think that Marcy is the top contested hero, in terms of picks and bans, if I'm not mistaken. And I think Marcy is probably the most spooky Marcy that is out there right now. I think we should ban every single time we played against him. So
what do you think makes spooky on this hero? Like, what is it he does better than other Marcys?
I don't know. He just gets to like 20 minutes, gets the BKB, and one-shots your care.
That sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
I like when my 4 does that.
Yeah.
So if I'm not mistaken, in the upper bracket when these two faced, ASTER had Lesh every game, both games. They 2-0'd. Very, very powerful and popular hero these days.
Yeah, Lesh is crazy. We see the next first ban.
Wow.
To enable the Lesh.
So, I mean, very standard though. Like the maiden, I think maiden Lesh track is just pop up at this TI. Maiden is an insanely strong hero, and Lesh is probably the most contested mid lane hero right now. One of the most. 8 Broodmother is pretty interesting. What do you think about it, Toby?
I'm the biggest Broodmother fan. I would have picked it. I'm not sure what Sai is gonna do with it.
So I think we've seen in multiple series now Crystal Maiden as a direct response to Marcy. Obviously a good lane counter because you have a slow and a root as a support. Is there anything extra about this that makes Crystal Maiden a good response to Marcy? Is it just that the other 5s can't really handle her, or is it really that simple?
I think the CM was more preparation for the 8 pick that was coming out, especially the Brood. And I've seen Sven and Lich against Marcy give armor. Yeah.
I think Maiden's just, in any case, probably a pick that you just would love to have in the draft from the beginning on. Just a strong laner and, I don't know, just rounds up a lot of holes already before the draft. Second stage bans are pretty interesting too. Mars and Naga against ASTER. I mean, just high contested heroes as well. I think Naga is a Brood counter as well, right? The many carries love to lane against the Broodmother, so that's why they get it out. ASTER meanwhile banning the Lone Druid. I mean, there's Matuma, man. There's one guy on Liquid. He's probably the best lone druid out there playing this hero, so no surprise with banning it. And the 1 HP hero is getting banned out as well, the Pangolier.
Do you hit some crazy timing with Lone Druid Brood when you get the Lone Shard? Is that what they're considering? Or is it just like in general a worrying timing that you're facing? Is it just like extra strong or just a targeted player ban?
I think what's scary about Liquid is that if they pick this lone, they can flex it onto lanes. They might play carry or mid because Mick is also very comfortable playing the carry role. So banning Lone Druid against it's real crazy. Banning Lone Druid against Liquid is just a safe shot in many cases if you're not sure what to ban.
I was going to ask, what is left in the pool that's good against Brood? Because we've seen a couple of Brood games where they pick it relatively early and it's been punished. Spirit Breaker is obviously very good. There's Kunkka. Anything else come to mind for you guys?
They still need a carry hero that can lane against Brood.
Yeah, that's true. Like, you see this Brood mother. The thing is, nowadays, I think Brood is almost always on the off lane. You don't really see it mid. So, the thing is, like, obviously, there's only a limited amount of heroes you can pick into this, right? You cannot pick any carry. So, I guess it's to assume that they're going to pick it on 18.
Knowing Mane, he plays both Monkey King and Gyro, who I think both fare pretty well against Brood, right? They have a way of dealing with the Spiderlings once you get the cannon up when Brood is level 6. Is there anything else you're looking, like, you're assuming this is a Marcy Brood lane, right? And you have the Crystal Maiden covering you. I guess most carries can kind of float this lane until Brood is 6 and then it gets super scary, or am I underestimating Crystal Maiden's impact on this lane right now? Are there some carries that just can't play this lane at all?
I can see a patch coming for either team.
Hell yeah.
First.
Lich Lina. Wow. Okay, that's surprising. I didn't see that one coming. Double spellcaster. I mean, they're just heading into the Mika Lina. I think Mika loves this matchup against the Lashrak. It's one of the favorite ones that they actually like win like 60-40 or a bit much, more even. And yeah, Sniper. After going for the 18 carry, it's a Sniper.
Whoa.
One of the only heroes that outranges Lina. If she's played as a core in mid, which is almost always the case.
Technically.
Yeah, that is the other one, which nobody plays. Thank you, Shannon.
Thank you.
I can see mid Sniper and Lash Carry. Lash Carry very good against Brood.
Do they flex it ever? Does Monet play Lashrak though?
I don't think so. I think Aster's read here is that, okay, this Brood we can handle in the beginning with our Maiden, and we obviously have the Spirit Breaker rotation possibilities, so we can get away with putting Sniper safe lane, and once Brood gets level 6, things might get dicey and they have to swap their lanes around, because Sniper cannot play this lane after Brood hits 6. It's actually interesting to see Sniper's response here, because usually Brood was a massive counter pick to Sniper. I want to say half a year to a year ago when it was played mid more. Sometimes the last pick Brood would just ruin his game, so...
Yeah, like it's a double range against double melee offlane, right? Like main Sniper against Marcy Brood. How do you think that's gonna be like?
I think Brood can play this lane. I think it's a pretty good Brood lane. I hope it's Lash Carry, to be honest.
It's better?
Yeah.
Is it possible that Aster start at tri-lane for like a minute or two? That's what we've seen some teams do to try to shut down Brood in the beginning? See, Liquid banned out some of XXS's lane heroes against Brood to prevent that they set a 1v1 and just play an aggro tri-lane, right? They banned out the Pango as well as the Mars, which XXS has been playing phenomenally this tournament. Are you kind of worried that a potential starting tri-lane from Aster is going to make Brood's game too difficult? Or are you happy as Brood that, okay, I'm getting shut down a little bit, but Matu's going to get a free game?
No, Brood definitely needs a good start, so if they can give the XXS a lane, where he can play 1v2, it's possible, but it's hard into Lich, I guess.
So regardless of the position for Lesh, Team Aster looking for offlane, I assume, and Liquid position 1.
Yeah, except if XXS plays Ubara. I'm not sure if he can play Spirit Breaker.
Okay.
But that is not out of the question, but I do think it's Bobo Cup playing that.
A thing I see on Liquid right now, what I would love them to like adjust in the draft a bit, is that they have no clear way of initiating at a certain point in the game. They have Marcy, Lina, and let's say post 20 minutes or something, it's not the easiest to engage fights. And Lina and Lich, they want heroes to go in for them. So there's still a Matu pick coming up. I would love to Liquid pick up a hero and like go to what would fit that, because he also has to worry about last pick XXS. Still got some time left though.
You also would imagine that it would be nice to have the carry use Frost Shield, right? You're picking this Lich early against essentially nothing that Frost Shield counters in terms of defense, right? So at the time when they picked Lich, they saw CM Lesh Spirit Breaker who have like basically 0 physical damage. So now that you've picked it in this manner, you would imagine Liquid have some sort of an aggressive plan. Like you said, Carry goes in first, pop Frost Shield on him for the control.
Yep.
Or you put it on Marcy, but that doesn't really feel like that's maybe the most valuable. Bloodseeker is going to be the choice.
That's interesting. I don't mind it. I'm not sure though that's against Sniper. What do you think, Toby? I think it's really good against the Lesh and Bara, obviously.
Yeah, it's good against Lesh. I think they have Sniper problems.
Yeah, there are also Sniper problems though, yeah, that's true. But I like the idea, like it goes in for the rest of the team. Rupture is a very old school counter. Bloodseeker is not so popular in this TI, but yeah, it basically fits the gap of like frontlining and sort of lockdown. It's not a stun, but it does like 50%.
So if you're, let's say you're entertaining the idea of running standard lanes with 2-1-2, what kind of an offlaner do you pick with Spirit Breaker against Lich BS? It's a pretty strong lane, right?
Some melee hero.
Not a range? Not like Viper or something then?
I think it's too hard.
So XXS would have probably liked to play any of the like 4 last bands of Liquid.
Yeah,
so, all right, they have made up their mind, so it's going to be another melee hero as well. Underlord.
That's interesting.
What do you make of this?
I'm not sure. So, I mean, both drafts are very interesting. Like, it's actually tough to play. The mid matchup is going to go pretty well for Liquid. They got the Lina against Leshrac matchup. He is playing against Ibarra, which has always been a bit annoying for her to deal with because he gets on top of you. I'm not sure what the bottom lane is going to go like. This entire Bloodseeker Lich
Pretty
against...
good for Bloodseeker, but shouldn't feed on.
Yeah.
It's free brood game in my book.
Free brood game?
Yes.
You're both taking...
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking. Like, I think Liquid has like a pretty good shot, but I think ASTER is OP here. I'm telling you ASTER.
Okay, split panel then. Let's, Action Slacks is looking like a mob boss today. Very, very nice. Let's hear what he has to say.
Prepare for battle. 我正补，我反补，我正补，我又反补啦！我正补，我反补，我正补，我又反补啦！我正补，我反补，我正补，我又反补啦！
Number 1. Sindra, I didn't even get your thoughts on the draft here.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's interesting that you have this much time to prepare and you don't really know what to expect. And I would say, as far as surprises go, I feel like ASTER are bringing something new here. They do get this D-ward, by the way, worth mentioning, is a little bit of a head start for them in that mid lane. They're bringing some stuff here that we haven't seen them play that much. They're playing the Underlord on XXS, the Spirit Breaker on Boboka. I don't think they played these heroes much, if at all, in the playoffs, whereas Liquid are more sticking to their guns of what we've seen. So this is something I'm very curious to see throughout this day in the next series as well, like how the teams prepare and have different approaches. I'm not going to say one is better than the other because I genuinely don't know, but it seems like the mentality or the approach is
That's the thing about having this many days off, is the theory crafting probably gets to the point where it's not even helpful anymore. So we're going to see the rebound here from Boxy, but Siamese Cat's going to be A-okay. And it looks like the bounties have been split evenly to start us off here for today.
Yeah, and it will be the expected lanes here. So bottom lane will be Brood together with Marcy against Maiden Sniper. Mid is Lesh against Lina. And finally top lane, Underlord, Spirit Breaker facing off against Lich Bloodseeker. So as we talked about on the panel, probably a slight edge in the mid lane to Mickey here with the Lina matchup against Lesh. We've seen this played a decent amount this tournament. Lesh has been incredibly popular and Lina has been one of the best responses that we've set our eyes on. As speaking of which, setting eyes on, Boboka is playing very aggressively onto Insania, skilling charge level 1. some damage.
As Mickey and Ori facing off in mid lane, Lina versus Leshrac. See Zai getting harassed by quite a bit as we have a pause, and I don't know if those are oohs, ahs, or boos, or all of the above, Cinderin, but pause today.
And the crowd goes wild.
The crowd goes ah.
What a pause! So I imagine we have a small tech issue. We have not been given a reason just yet for why this pauses, but this gives us a little bit more time. All right, so disconnect from Insania makes it seem like
I've heard some players have to change their chat wheel to be not GG, but of course that might not relate to these teams at all, considering they're all good manner players.
Yeah, I wouldn't imagine a player like Insania having GG in his chat. But you never know. You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised once you know, you might have your opinion on players and then you meet them in real life. They could be a totally different beast, you know?
Never meet your heroes, and that's why I regret ever meeting Sir Action Slacks.
He was your hero?
That's true, actually. That wasn't accurate at all. I just wanted to throw that out there regardless.
The conclusion is never meet Slacks.
Yes. That was what I was trying to get across. Appreciate it. That's why you're here. You're analyzing my thoughts.
Telling you what you wanted to say.
That's right. Very good. Tell me, how does Zai play Brood this game?
Yeah, so it sounded like, so Toby is quite the Brood specialist, right? And it sounded like he thinks this should be a free lane for Brood. I don't play the hero much. I feel like, from my perspective, Maiden Sniper probably does okay, at least for a few levels. Once Brood gets level 6, you're screwed down here as Maiden Sniper. You have to evacuate and solve it, but that's where Aster have a hero like Underlord who could go there. They could park the Lesh there if they really have to defend the tower. But for starters, I would imagine this double range lane does fine against Brood. Zai will just try to stay alive, get some CS where he can. You're seeing Boxy currently planning on pulling the wave down there to try to get a little bit of a different lane positioning so that Brood can get closer to his tower. And then...
Well, we're about to unpause. I want to get the crowd's reaction here. Let's do a live poll since we have some time here. Can I hear who is rooting for Aster today? Aster. Okay, that was kind of underwhelming. I'm not gonna lie.
That was lukewarm.
And what about Team Liquid? Oh my. Okay. We have some bias here in the crowd. First it was OG, but they're not here anymore. So, to the next EU. We're underway again. Insania pushing back Baboka. Mid lane still relatively even on, but 2 denies already from Mickey, but relatively a wash at the moment. It's still taking damage from Insania. If you had told me 6 months ago that Lich and CM would be played to this extent, and I would not have believed you.
Yeah, it's a really interesting development. I think especially Lich, because Crystal Maiden has kind of had her time on and off recently, but Lich has been quite a while since we've seen given this priority. Bit of poke back and forth.
Zai. This is kind of a weird setup right now. Monet kind of on the other side of his tower. But the rebound is there on top of the sniper from Monet. It's on the right click away. No dispose yet because Boxy's still only level 1, but in the end, a lot of harassment damage traded each way.
Yeah, if you play Dota casually, you'd be like, why are 2 heroes behind the tier 1 tower minute 1? And this is simply what happens when the position 4 in the enemy team repulls and repositions the wave behind there. You have to go and contest this experience in gold. You can't just let the Liquid side get that for free when you have this double ranged lane. You are willing to take those trades, and ultimately what ends up happening is that Zai has a grand total of 2 CS to the 10 of Sniper with the good head start here on Monet, getting in behind there.
The rebound, dispose is available this time. Shrapnel comes out to do some residual damage. Monet taking the brunt of it though. Do they have enough to get first blood in this game? Boxy continuing on, and there it is. Boxy with the first blood as Sniper goes bye-bye. Great start for Liquid in this lane, despite, like you said, the CS for Zai not being too respectable, but this should open it up at least a little bit for him.
Yeah, so he's not the one getting the first blood, but he gets the space in the lane now, right? He gets to, I believe, deny 2 range here potentially. I think the second one will be secured here. It will by Pichu. But yeah, Zai will be very happy with that. Even if you don't get that first blood, just getting a little bit of time. He's now going to get his level 3. Currently holding the skill point, what he's going to choose. Like all of the skills here actually have some decent merit with how this lane's playing out. He's eyeing up his options, not choosing just yet. We'll go for the Silken Bola now.
Nice.
More aggressive approach, I guess you could say. It's kind of hybrid, right? You can also use it to slow and run away. So
like you said, once he hits 6, could be scary times for Aster. I mean, at that point, what does Monet do? Where can you go as a sniper? We're going to see another rebound, this time onto Siamese Cat for the Crystal Maiden. Looks like that's going to be another death in this lane for Aster. As Boxy and Zai kind of punishing. Seen so many times with the Marcies in this tournament. Insania in the top lane, though, getting chased. Looks like he'll live as Matu trading some right clicks with XXS.
Yeah, obviously the Bloodseeker benefiting massively as well whenever they play aggressively bottom, gets that thirst bonus up top and trying to turn that into even more advantage here for Liquid. Yeah, you've got to be really wary of your positioning, and it's easier said than done, right? Your Crystal Maiden, you kind of want to at least put some sort of pressure and do some damage, but at this point, when Marcy and Brood are both free, I think you have to backline behind the sniper. If he gets jumped on, you use both your spells defensively and you try to reposition and stabilize. At the same time, if you have to sacrifice somebody, it's better that the Maiden dies than the sniper. And then ultimately when Brood hits 6, I think Sniper is just going to sit maybe mid, or you open up top and you play up there. Okay, Zai taking some serious damage. Not enough to die. He doesn't have any agent except one pull in Spin Web, so it'll take quite a while before he's online to fight with Boxy again.
Able to TP out. I would expect the kills to start ramping up a little bit more now, just because we have such aggressive heroes overall, especially with the Spear Breaker on the side of Aster. As we haven't really seen a gank mid. Does that surprise you at all? Because I feel like that's a Spear Breaker special, as I say that he's charging right now.
There you go. I don't think it's surprising we haven't had it yet, but I think this is a pretty good time to do it. Mickey's running out of mana. There's no power runes, but we'll not be able to find the angle here. Bobak obviously charging from base. Oh, Boxy gets the jump.
Trying to turn this around onto Monet, as Zai is going to be able to get the Insatiable Hunger off as well, and Monet's in a lot of trouble with the Frostbite, dealing a lot of damage to Zai in the meantime, as Boxy looking for another kill for himself onto Monet. That is the second just for him. I'm not even sure if Zai was in range for XP at that point.
I'm sure if Boxy got all of it, they don't really mind. Again, it's a matter of just giving Brute the space here to recover the CS in the lane. Zai currently sitting on 1-0 and 2 in terms of KDA, so...
Oh, the charge coming from the other side from Boboka, but Boxy is ready for this, but the Split Earth is there with the Pulse Nova. Mickey taking tons of damage, does get off a good LSA, but it does not save him in the end, as Boxy getting run down now by Ori's Pulse Nova. Double kill for him. And Zai, now that they know he's left to his own devices, they can kind of harass him out of lane to a degree.
Oh my god, look how many creeps are mid too. They get the double kill. This is 2 full waves and a siege creep just hit or so. First of all, you get a lot of tower damage in here, but the death stings that much more for the Lina losing effectively a full wave.
Getting low, and Boboka's charge will finish the job, as Aster now all over the map, as we kind of expected with the draft. Able to take full advantage of this Space Cow.
Yeah, and this is the luxury you have in this position with having this Underlord top. It's hard for Matu to put meaningful pressure onto XXS, who's running a Bracer and Ring of Health. He's just buying a full self-sustain build. He's going to finish his Vanguard now as well, coming out on the Courier. So if you want to kill this Underlord as Liquid, you need to bring 3+ heroes. I don't think they have any other way.
Okay. No comms at all. Interesting strategy at TI-11. Monet. The bottom. They do get that tier 1 tower, like you said, but very even game despite that. And top lane is the one we haven't really talked about too much, but Matu...
Maybe they were all watching Naruto. Maybe they were all watching Naruto.
That's true. I mean, I talked to a couple Liquid members as well during the break, and I mean, they couldn't find scrims, right? None of these teams probably could find many. Kind of a weird situation, and you kind of overanalyze probably. I think taking some days off was probably pretty important for a lot of these teams just to reset, because especially for Liquid, who had all that momentum, that I don't know, I would have been super drained.
The overall consensus that I gathered was that I think most teams, if not all of them, took 1 to 2 days off and then started getting back into, you know, you take a little bit of a break, make sure you don't overwork yourself, because it is very, very mentally taxing to prepare for these games, and you've obviously played a very long tournament already to get to this point, so getting that little bit of a breather, definitely helpful. I don't know if we should call this a recovery. Obviously the bottom lane was not going too hot, but the rest of the map looking very good, and with that rotation bot where they killed Zai, they managed to take the tier 1 tower. They almost got the tier 1 tower mid as well, minute 8, which is very good news for Aster. Zai. Trying
He wants
put-
to go on Monet, but he's going to get frostbit and charge. Already at half HP, and Monet can just right-click from afar as the charge connects, and one more right-click should do it, although Siamese Cat nets himself the kill with another frostbite. And this Broodmother feels like it's getting shut down a bit in the last couple minutes.
I love playing Spirit Breaker against this hero, I gotta say. It feels so rewarding and so powerful that if Brood shows at any point, you get this connection. And Crystal Maiden is a great support to play it with in the early stages because you have this long root and slow. You see Pichu in this game choosing to max out Frostbite, which we've seen sometimes. It varies whether people prioritize Frostbite or Crystal Nova, but against the Brood, the root is just so good to allow Sniper to get in all of that damage. Let's see if Monet skills Assassinate or not, because we've seen different Sniper builds, whether you take that route at all or if you focus on maxing out Headshot. All right, Boxy with the job.
Initiation, and that is enough burst damage, but Boca charge not in time. Mickey gets credit for that kill. That is his first of the game. He has a haste rune still, and with the Falcon Blade going for the BKB as a pretty fast item. Matu is getting chased, but just the other side of the fog.
Very good ward there. Pichu will realize this. Like, he read that all too well, so gonna get the D ward, and they force out the glyph. Lesh will immediately rotate into mid. They don't want to lose their mid tower. Ori is gonna show here.
Yeah, well, Mickey is getting charged, so now there's TPs coming into the mid lane. Can get the LSA off. Oh, uses the horsey and gives himself enough distance to get away. But in the meantime, they're gonna find Boxy instead, who was trying to help out Mickey, but wasn't really needed in the end.
Yeah, it looked like Boxy was trying to find an angle where he could maybe get a dispose onto the Lesh rack, but what Aster did really well there was that they rotated not only the Lesh, but also the Crystal Maiden in the tree line. So when Boxy did try to go for that, it just gets frostbitten from the side and does not find any move. At the very least, the good news for Liquid here, bottom tower will be claimed. Brood is starting to build a new home here, as Brood does. I wonder what build Zai goes here. We've seen a lot of Broods go this Arcane Boots into either Pipe or Wraith Pact, these kind of auras. I assume this game will be no different, but I wonder what the priority will be.
Pipe is pretty freaking good.
Yeah, there is a lot of random magic damage, and it's a great way of keeping your spiders alive during fights.
He is taking control. I mean, that's the one thing transitioning out of this lane. Brood, he'll just take over.
He has to be so careful with showing on the lane, though. He's actually showing his hero, and that means he's opening himself up to being charged at any point.
Yep, all they need is a little bit of vision here as members of Aster in the cover of smoke, Zai in the trees, but his spidey senses are tingling for once that actually
Quite
makes
literally.
sense. Yep. Looks like he'll be okay, so a little bit of wasted time, although idea that he's in the area
wasted
here.
though.
Pops. Oh, Crystal Nova just off. Actually, it did connect, and now they have the vision. There's the charge from Baboka. In comes Accents as well. And that is a big kill onto Zai. It took some time, but now Accents can just go back to where he came from.
This is a pretty cool duo of heroes that we like never see played. The Spirit Breaker plus Underlord combo. You charge someone, you Fiend's Gate in, and Spirit Breaker has that natural follow-up that he needs. This hero's one of its weaknesses, even though it's one of the best roamers in the game, is that it doesn't really solo kill very well. But, you know, if you have something like Underlord connecting or Sunstrike, like whatever it is at your disposal, then situations can suddenly look quite promising. Baboka with a charge, no rune here.
Boxy is here. Nice pit of Malice though, but the dispose keeps XXS at bay. Already at half HP, and in comes the Lich as well. But look, 4 members of Aster are continuing on here as Insania gets off his Chain Frost. Looks like he will drop in the end as Matu has finally come to play, but the Laguna Blade on top of the Rupture is enough to find themselves a kill. Now the focus is onto Baboka, but the Sniper's gonna get the brunt of the damage as Boxy gets the stun off, and Baboka will be next. Big turnaround here for Liquid. Great transition from Matu.
Yeah, they make sure to bring the numbers there. Matu coming in, Lina with the double damage. It's just too overwhelming. And Monet, yeah, would have probably been wise to not get involved there. You can understand why he's trying to help out his teammates, but Boxy him with the rebound dispose combo, and once Sniper is repositioned, he's not getting out of there. Does not have any way of repositioning himself for now. Wonder if he's gonna buy a shard later to try to help with that, but for now, obviously going a pretty standard route, Mask of Madness to Wraith Bands and Treads, eyeing up the Dragonlance, Pipe, another way to reposition, of course. And he should need it this game, but you gotta be feeling really good if you're Liquid with that exchange, though.
Yep, absolutely. The lead has slipped into their side, just barely though. as we get in, rehash this conversation again, Cinder. You know where I'm going with this, I'm sure, but...
Tier 5 neutral items.
The old Roshan.
Oh.
As we're going to see, another strike onto Insania. Orbit in the air, he stopped the Lightning Storm. But the Frost Shield ends up mitigating a bit of damage here and forces the rest of ASTER away, as this is taking just too long. They get a high five for their efforts. Which team would you say has the advantage in the Roche pit, both killing and fighting in the area?
I guess for killing, I would imagine Liquid does it maybe a little bit faster. It's kind of close.
All right, that was an Eternal Envy type showdown. That was nice.
They got done with their Naruto episode and now they're playing, so good to see.
Indeed. Anyway, you were saying about Roshan.
Yeah, so I think overall, I guess the Dire, depending on, I guess it's level 1 sidekick. It's kind of hard to say who's faster at it. I do like ASTER's chances of fighting in the area in general, though. Underlord, Lesh, and Spiritbreaker, as well as Shrapnel level 4, is very, very good in that area. But I think neither team has any interest in even thinking about Roche for quite a while. Neither lineup is particularly a lot of risk. Proxy will get charged.
Charged in the top lane. The tier 2. The Frost Shield comes out again. Chain Frost not really bouncing, but finally does off of the creeps. And that is going to cause Ori to drop. But Boca gets disposed. TP canceled. Second kill for Liquid. A big punish in this top lane. That Frost Shield has been kind of pretty annoying for ASTER to get through.
Yeah, they chose to go for that with 5-second cooldown Another Strike. They didn't have Spiritbreaker ult, so missing that component, but also Liquid seemed like they just read that play like a book. You know, Mickey was in position immediately, getting that counterplay. Nicely done from them. They get those two. Mickey now rocking a BKB. Is very ready to fight. Liquid actually hitting a strong timing here, and this smoke will bear fruit.
The Horsey is there. He gets stunned and brought down. A huge kill for Liquid, but XXS has come to play with his ult. Gets off the nice Pit of Malice and Firestorm. Insania looks to be the sacrifice at the very least, and Mickey and Matu want to continue to fight potentially. They're going to try to focus onto the Crystal Maiden, and a nice stun from Boxy on the 2 heroes with Mickey's LSA to follow. 4 dead for ASTER, and Liquid, I mean, they got the big kill to start, and ASTER still wanted to fight, and they get punished.
Yeah, just Lesh didn't get to play his hero there. Got chain stun completely, rebound into the LSA, took the full burst there from Mickey, and they get that job done easily. You're going to see on the replay here, so really nice way to open this with Boxy getting the rebound. They kill the sniper before any assistance arrives. As XXS comes in and does kill off the Lich, it's a pretty small consolation prize. Nice fear here, by the way, from Insania.
Stun coming up soon.
Yep.
Which absolutely destroyed.
Perfect.
My
Triple
God.
stun into double stun.
And that was the Bloodstone reveal as well on the Lesh, and it just gets destroyed. Not literally, not a Kyle. But Baboka now in the bot lane. He's going for the Shadow Blade. As Zai, again, he's just been chilling in the bot lane. He's close to finishing his pipe, and we talked about the amount of magic damage that ASTER has. That is going to be a huge pickup for them.
It seems like the play call here from Liquid is just leave Zai alone. Let him do whatever he wants. He needs to get that item before he really offers teamfight impact. Curious to see what the idea is now. It's coming out. Are you going to big rotation? The bottom tier 2 tower. Are we looking at a potential rotation into killing a hero mid and then getting Roche? There's plenty of options for Liquid here with the game state they have set themselves up for. And I mean, essentially, if Zai doesn't have to join, why would he, right? He can also just keep farming down here and keep being a Pestilence, forcing heroes to rotate down here and defend, putting pressure on the tower and just farming up, get toward his next item. Maybe an Axe could be on the menu. Extremely annoying item to play Spirit Breaker against the Brood Axe. So definitely could be something he's considering.
Liquid want to keep up the aggression. Okay, now the BKB from Matu. 2 BKBs on the side of Liquid. And they are definitely ready to fight. Chipping Tower, take a little bit of damage, but XXS, he's going to show himself with the Firestorm, but Liquid want to kind of reset here. One thing we didn't really talk about is the fact that 2 obviously face in the upper bracket, and we've seen it so many times. The upper bracket team that wins, that faces the team again in the lower bracket. The lower bracket team ends up learning more about that matchup overall, and they got to see Tundra beat ASTER as well. Potentially that's what we're seeing here right now. But standing onto the high ground, he is so tanky at half HP, but Vice, as it looks like it's going to be a trade for the position 5s. Nice freezing field coming out, but it only delays the inevitable.
Oh, they ruptured Lesh.
Yep, he gets his Bloodstone off just in time as Matu pops the BKB, but the Lesh is dead. Laguna Blade into the grave, and Baboka getting chased, but a nice Pit of Malice keeping Boxy and company in this area. But the Dispose comes out on Baboka, but he does have the status resistance and gets the charge off. That right click is cut for him. Is that enough? It doesn't look like it. He shall live.
What an amazing escape from Baboka there, turning around to dodge the stun and then finding the charge through everyone to survive. I definitely had him expected dead there, but he gets out of there. Still, Liquid is the Lesh. They keep finding him every fight. Zai, okay.
Yeah, he's here all alone. Insania on the outstart, but the Assassinate is coming, and that's not going to help you there. So Mon getting a nice pickup for himself as he's kind of strong middle of the pack in terms of net worth, and this is a hero that you do not want in that area. I mean, how much of a comeback mechanic do you have on this hero, would you feel, based on the items that he's going for? Because he has Mask of Madness, Dragonlance, he's going for Hurricane Pike, so it feels like more mobility / utility than damage.
I guess with this build, you definitely do farm slower than if you had, say, Mom Maelstrom, but you probably just have to get the Pike at this time. If you go Mask Maelstrom, you just... It's gonna take too long before you have the essential items to be any sort of presence in a team fight. In skirmishes, this is also a pretty good single target damage build, right? You have a long range, obviously you have you can activate the take aim for the guaranteed headshots, which by the way are only level 2 on Monet currently, so his damage will ramp up significantly when he levels up to 13, 14.
Oh, Matu getting charged, and there's a Fiend's Gate here as well. He pops the BKB, but still gets stunned. That is 4 members of ASTER, and that is a nice pickup for them. Very nice team play, and now, I mean, the Fiend's Gate is so cool, but Mickey in the area, he's in Viz right now. Oh, the Assay does not connect, but they still get the stun. Laguna Blade to follow, but the Bloodstone healing up a decent amount. The BKB pop by Mickey, and that is enough to take out Ori again. He's left by his team via the Fiend's Gate, and Liquid taking full advantage.
Yeah, that missed stun from Mickey ends up costing him a BKB charge, but still well worth it. You're happy to get that kill. And probably the bottom tier 2 tower. I don't think you have a chance of defending this as ASTER. Well, maybe they are gonna try, actually. XXS? Oh, they know that. So
yeah,
maybe.
He gets the charge off successfully inside the Pit of Malice. Mickey trying to help him out, but looks like the Chain Frost finally comes out. It's only going to connect a couple times, but Mickey looks to be mega dead, and Zai and company have to get the hell out of here. Sani is successful, but Zai inside the Pit of Malice charged up. He's going to be brought down as well, so ASTER successfully defend the tier 2 tower.
It seems like Liquid had the same expectation that I did, that tower was just going to be given to them with a dead Lesh, but the crucial part in all of this is that Mickey with the missed stun ends up using the BKB on the first kill, and ASTER are like, wait a minute, can't we just go on this guy and kill him with Spirit Breaker and Underlord? And they could. There wasn't enough protection there. I don't think there was a defensive dispose from Boxy to try to reposition and keep him alive. And that's huge for ASTER.
Yeah, we have a rupture onto XXS, but the rest of his teammates coming. A nice charge onto 2, but the Blood Right does connect. Silence that Space Cow.
Oh,
but Boxy
God.
just getting right click from afar. And Matu, despite having the BKB, does have the move speed to get away. And no range for the Assassinate, or no vision for the Assassinate.
If they had any way of getting vision, that could have been so much bigger for ASTER, but they're very, very happy with this for sure. The game was starting to look a little bit scary for a while with the control.
Yeah, for Roche attempted. ASTER know that they're in a 5v4 situation.
No BKB on either. Bloodseeker is not a very good hero in this time in the game. You have BKB. It's so hard to run it and do. You can just and blast it. They really try to poke. It's just really. They don't know the exact timing either. Every spider is getting killed outside pit.
Okay, we'll get the Aegis. Not putting on the Lesh. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, it's good on both. A lot of the time we do see it on Lesh because you get so much value from getting the full mana refill when you die as well. But maybe the logic is Lesh is less susceptible to dying straight away. He has more health, he has the Bloodstone, whereas if Monet gets jumped, he can just die instantly. And this way you also maybe open up a little bit more for the potential of poking top tier 2 tower with just the sniper. Lesh needs to go closer and expose himself to do that. Sniper can just safely take it from range, and if you do try to jump on him with your Marcy combination with Lina, you know he has that second life you have to worry about.
Both those cores have 4 deaths each, Monet and Ori. But they've kind of brought this game back, Cinder, and this network-wise very even between the Aegis. Going to help them potentially extend that just a bit. Tower is not being defended yet.
And I think it is worth keeping in mind for a game like this that a lot of the expectation of how the game goes kind of rides or dies with Brood, right? And Zai's impact, aside from, you know, pushing out this bottom lane being there, has not felt like Brood has been a first phase hero, right? Or arguably it has, because ASTER solved it so well. A lot of Liquid's Brood game wins, they would be in a much, much better position than this now. And I think even just in an even game state like this in terms of gold, the Radiant lineup is having a pretty solid time scaling late game. I think a lot of what Brood offers becomes less and less important against this lineup, whereas ASTER's lineup is just going to scale to the moon, right? Sniper into Lord Lesh core.
True, Wraith Pack has been there for a little bit on the Underlord, as we see a full here ASTER. They trying to go into the end triangle is the question. More staff picked up from Mickey, actually. He's going the full Hurricane.
Sold it again.
Away.
Yep. Oh. Mind for now. He's still... Oh, he's changing over to Silver Edge. Okay, so I guess he wants the break for Atrophy Aura. And they need some more damage.
He's going to get spotted. Charge, right clicks, dead. Easy kill for ASTER. See if they go for this tier 2 tower bottom now that they have the top. Or if they're just happy to farm away. I mean, how important is it for ASTER to use the Aegis in an effective way? Or are they fine just farming? Like you said, they do technically scale better.
Yeah, I think they're fine farming, but I wouldn't mind seeing them trying to use this Aegis for another tier 2 tower. Probably mid is the most accessible one for them right now, because I think Brood really thrives in the bottom tower area. There's so many trees, so many angles you can find there to be annoying for the support. But
he changed his mind again. He went hurt.
Oh, he changed again. All right, well, maybe the gold will end up nicely. Liquid are not too phased by the Aegis, though. They're still gonna look to cross the river and maybe make an aggressive move. They do have a double damage on Mickey, which would be really nice for them to put to use. Boca will push out that wave and reposition himself. It looks like ASTER are aware that Liquid have some big plan here. Ori also farming very defensively over on the ancient side, making sure to stay all the way left to not get caught. And this move from Liquid will bear fruit in the sense they get good aggressive wards out. You see they get the good ward over at the Radiant Triangle. And they get a good ward down in mid, so definitely looking for some sort of catch against the Aegis team at some point in the near future. But it looks like they'll have to settle for Mickey just, you know, 10-shotting the top tier 1 tower casually with sidekick and double damage. Packing 400 damage with that per hit.
Not bad.
But now it's run out, and ASTER will opt for the bottom tower rather than the mid one. This was the one they had the option to access. I think they would have been happy to take mid, but that's where Liquid were grouped up and covering the lane, so they will settle for a trade in the off lanes.
They will get it successfully. So 2K lead for ASTER is the Aegis.
Okay.
It's
They're
expiring in 40 seconds.
They will knock on the high ground, though. Sniper very good at this, obviously. Massive range. The only repositioning tool Liquid have is, aside from an offensive pike from Mickey, which is probably a bit naive to think is going to happen, you have level 2 Dispose. So he's feeling pretty damn safe standing down here hitting this tower. And just keep throwing out one shrapnel if he wants to hit it some more. There we go. He's going to keep poking at it.
Pop the mathematics.
He's sending in Ori.
Is coming for Liquid. Ori up in front. He's going to get ruptured. Pops the BKB. That's not going to do too much for him. But kept himself away far enough as the Aegis is expiring in 3 seconds. Trying to get through the Fiend's Gate. He does so successfully. Retreat. In part. A couple members here.
Yep.
And Ori can just refill and, oh, okay, does not want to take the Fiend's Gate. Wants to farm on mid.
I'm surprised Ori went in an edict at that tower. I think letting Sniper just keep doing his thing was pretty good. It only cost him a BKB charge, which isn't the end of the world. And I guess he did force the glyph, so maybe it's okay. But if Liquid find a move off it, the story will be very, very different. Ori is going to walk straight into Matu.
Laguna Blade, but no LSA connection, but they still find the Crystal Maiden nonetheless. The right clicks are way too much. BKB already popped by Matu as they find the kill onto Ori. So 3 dead overall, the complete segregation of that fight, but Liquid coming out way on top.
Yeah, so what ends up happening there is Lesh has BKB cooldown from bottom, and he's walking in the mid lane together with Spirit Breaker. I think a pretty crucial mistake here from Aster, actually. The 2 heroes were even stacking up, so they got chain stunned and didn't get a charge off to try to protect Ori. He just walked straight into Matu, got ruptured and killed, or actually didn't even rupture, I think. They just hit him. He couldn't get away anyway without the BKB. And Liquid will now play mid
up to tier 2 mid.
That is a huge swing for Liquid.
Won't know for the next Roche for another minute 40, but that is going to be an extremely important game, as it usually is. But looking at Ori's item progression, obviously they've had the Bloodstone for a long time. BKB is on 8 seconds. He's only used it once, surprisingly. Yep. Has the casual plate mail, and I would assume an eventual Shiva's, but still going for his farm for a Lesh is not very good this game.
No, I think he's had a couple of times maybe pushing one wave too many, and Liquid have done a really good job punishing him overall. The 5 deaths on the Lesh is a major setback. You compare that to Mickey on the Lina with only 2. Has a 50 CS advantage because of this. The thing I wonder here for Ori is if Travels is actually the right choice, because you're obviously playing against Rupture, right? So having extra mobility in the fight isn't necessarily going to translate to more safety or more damage. Whereas having items where you can just stand your ground and survive longer, like you said, the Shiva or something to that effect could be an interesting choice. But maybe even Ags could be a thing this game. You're against Brood, Bloodseeker, and an attack damage Lina build.
Nihilism,
huh? I think Nihilism could be interesting, but well, for now it is going to be the Travels. And obviously it depends whether the flow of the game will turn into a little bit more of a stalemate where the teams are just pushing out waves and farming, then Travels are obviously. But if we have a fight coming up sometime soon, this might not be the celebration of net worth that Ori can have at this point in time. Getting those Travels up. Roche will be known to us now. It's a long respawn.
Yes.
233. Well before Aster potentially get their hands on that. And I do say Aster because they are controlling the area for now. They did get the first one. There's no saying that Liquid can't make a team move in there and contest it.
Yeah, Matu has his Mjolnir now. Zai has had the Wraith Pact.
And there's the Axe
and is
coming
going
up.
for Aghanim Scepter. Spinner Snare, really.
Yeah, it is very good, this Axe. When you're playing a Brood role where you don't have to deal very much damage, this Axe is just incredible for map control.
Woke up, but they see Boxy. They're going to start charging him next to Liquid's outpost, technically in control of Aster right now. The charge is there, but the Frontshell's going to keep him healthy for the time being. Ori, though, and Baboka end up taking him out with the help of Monet. Just like that, it's a 5v4, but BKB already popped by XX as they in the trees, but the charge onto Matu. See who they try to focus here. Firestorm doing a lot of percentage-based damage. Lynch ult coming out, but it's only going to bounce once as Zai just gets cleaned up. Double kill for Monet as the Fiend Gate's back to the fountain. They can just refresh and rejoin this fight as Insania looks to be next. 3 dead for Liquid. And Aster looking very good now, but like you said, Roche is not going to be up for another minute, so yeah, they can't take advantage of that.
Definitely consider themselves lucky that this isn't up, because this would have been an easy collateral for Aster. Ward would have forced 2 buybacks out of Liquid, but yeah, just a very different fight in positioning here, right? So you get a charge onto the Marcy, so she doesn't get to play the fight at all. Ori gets ruptured, they get this Marcy kill, they run back, and then they zone control. Underlord is creating tons of space by just running in with a Pit of Malice. Sniper at bay with shrapnels, and there's the Crystal coming up. It's just too difficult for Liquid to re-engage here. And a nicely played fight here from Aster will secure themselves a good position in the game once again. And the control of the pit, 30-second respawn on that. Both teams will want to get access to this. This is the second Roche, so will come with a little bit of a bonus.
And Mickey has the Daedalus, so he will start to hurt. Is opting to go for a Lincoln Sphere as the next item.
Okay, that's I like that approach too. You know, you're feeling a lot safer against the Rupture. You get yourself that freedom of movement.
Well, the Rupture's on his team.
Oh, I was looking at the Lesh. He's also going Lincolns.
Oh, yeah, that one makes sense.
I thought you were
I'm trying to
Lesh.
figure out this.
Everybody gets a Lincolns.
The charge is very annoying.
Yeah, that's true.
And the only way to take full advantage of that, if you're the Spirit Breaker, is to get an Axe, which he is going for. So the Lincolns won't be that big of a deal at that point.
Aster,
as we have a smoke down from Liquid.
Aster poked the Roche and went out. They feel like Liquid are going to come contest this, and they're very right. The top lane is all the way in the tier 3 tower, and no one from Liquid's defending. This is a dead giveaway that Liquid are up to something here. Boboka is terrifying with that Shadow Blade that he's had for a while. If they get vision on anyone, they could just get stunned out of nowhere on Liquid's side with very minimal defense, except like we talked about the Frost Shield, but doesn't really save you from this Radiant lineup very well.
Yep, Ori used his Bloodstone thinking that he was going to get jumped, so another 15-second cooldown on that.
Success. Will find the ward.
Very tense as both teams know that Roche is up.
The Gem knows that Liquid have vision here. Obviously not going to go for the D ward. Way too risky. He could get jumped by Marcy and just blast it there. So it's the information, gets back. They have Boboka clean up mid with the charge. Next wave will now be cut by Boboka as well. Going to clean this up out of the Shadow Blade, just killing all of those spiders in one charge.
Yeah, ever since they changed
feel really good.
His bash to do that much damage to creep.
Yeah.
Even better counter.
I think this is the most CS I've seen a Spirit Breaker have minute 34 since Xiao played at mid. That's what spiders will do for you.
That is, I mean, he's halfway with his Axe, and that thing is crazy how good it is. Still posturing on the other side of the map. No one quite ready to fight, knowing that this Roche could potentially decide the game. I mean, it's a little early to call that, but
there's a very good chance that
the win percentage with second Roche has got to be really high for the against it. As look how close this game was.
Yeah.
68% for Aster. Do you feel that? Watching this right now. The Runter on exposed, already half HP. He's going to get bashed out to Matu. Trying to right-click his way. Bloodstone's not going to be enough. A 1-for-1, but it's a support for a mid. And Liquid trying to reset. Now the Boxy is on relatively low HP. Goes on to Matu with the rebound move up as well. They're able to reset completely.
Now the buyback from Insania, a 5v4 situation effectively here. Lesh has buyback too, but no BKB ready, so if he connects, he has to be careful. The trade-off here, of course, Liquid using 2 of theirs, Marcy and Bloodseeker with a minute cooldown, and Aster are actually confident that this is enough for them to contest the pit. They know they can buy back their Lesh. What can he travel on? They have the outpost too, so the connection point is there.
Ooh, Monet, double damage is that's a good the pit, and Malice gets forced back to safety, but they're going to find a Space Cow first. Laguna Blade onto XXS. A nice Chain Frost bouncing as XXS still has the BKB activated. Siamese Cat looks to be next on the list, but double buybacks now from Aster, and they can relatively quickly. So he wants to put it there. Built a 5v5, but that is several buybacks from Aster. But like you said, the BKB is very important for Liquid. The charge on Mickey, but the Frost Shield is going to get a lot of this physical damage. Spoxy's going to be dead. Trying to help his teammate, and Mickey pops the BKB. Trying to get the dieback onto Ori. He's at half HP, but the Bloodstone healing up to a high degree, but it's not going to be enough. Ori diebacks, and Monet stuck in. He's just stuck there, trying to right-click his way out of this. Getting some lifesteal now, but Zai is going to be able to take him out in the end. It's going to be close. Monet is still life-stealing, despite just standing still for the last 30 seconds. Matu has already died, and now Boboka trying to chase the Lich, but there's the rebound. Mickey gets instantly stunned, disposed back, they kill Monet. Finally, he buys back into the game, though, and now the Unleashed going to town on XXS, just bought back himself as well. Looks like Broodmother is next here, though, and now this has turned into a 3 versus 2, technically in favor of Aster, but Boboka dies. That's another dieback for him. Boxy TPing away. He is successful. 6K lead for Liquid. What the hell was that fight?
That's actually completely insane. If Aster do end up claiming this, I guess they're somewhat okay with what they had to throw for that. They spent, how many buybacks was that? I kind of lost the overview, so
I mean, this isn't even accurate.
4 buybacks, I believe, from Aster used in this situation. Obviously, they had to buy back Ori in the beginning, so again, Ori really not progressing too much.
They want to go. They have the rebound available. Roche is relatively low. The Frost Shield is there, but a nice pit of Malice. Gonna root that. But Boxy gets to that pit. He gets to dispose of. Who gets the Roche is the question. Nobody wants to kill it. And finally, Monet, he snatches the Aegis. So technically, quickly kill. Not sure who got the shard on top of that, but either way, Aster is happy with this exchange. Looks like Boxy, did he actually take the shard?
Boxy grabbed it, and in a fit of panic, he used it instantly. I don't think.
Oh no!
I don't think that's the best shard they could have used there. Maybe. What are the other options? Brood or Lina? Yeah, maybe it's actually the best one.
Might be fine. Actually.
Now they have a save that they haven't had before. They can obviously rebound the target away.
All right. Okay, not able to hit the LSA there, but. Wow.
I mean, honestly, the craziest thing about the team fight that we just saw was how long Monet stayed alive, right? And it's because he's getting Crimson guarded by the Underlord, so the spiders do 0 damage. Zai has a 0 damage item build, so he's basically tickling him. And Monet was just using Mask of Madness, standing still and pressing A-click on the ground.
I've never seen a sniper stand still for that amount of time. As we have some more action, it looks like potentially Rupture. But Zai is kind of starting to get charged at it. XXX is taking the burn from Matu. He's going to get bashed up, but we'll be able to get the Fiend's Gate out in time. As Liquid just don't have the damage right now, but Zai, he gets charged in on into the strike and in right clicks of Monet. And now with the assault onto XXS, it's just going to add insult to injury, and this push will be even faster for Aster. No pun, I mean, that was a rhyme. Intended. Tier 2 tower looks to be done. How much more can they get? Still 3.5 minutes on the Aegis.
50 seconds on Brood as well.
Yep.
And Zai does not have buyback gold. They do not know this for a fact, but they might have a feeling based on the Aghanim Scepter being purchased that he cannot reconnect to this fight. Still, you have to be a little bit careful about this high ground push. Marcy is very terrifying on defense, and as we've established, Boxy with the dagger doesn't even need to rebound in. He can blink in and dispose and rebound out to maybe force a BKB. He can obviously also rebound in and dispose and then blink out if he's fast enough. If he takes any damage, that is not happening.
He can rebound his teammates.
He can also do that. He could rebound Mickey in and lose the game. That is another option he has.
We have seen it during the DPC. We have seen the Marcy Shard win games and lose games.
Yeah. Insania counting the buybacks there.
Yeah.
Wonder if he counted all of them and wrote down all the times. That would be very impressive. That would be inhuman, as a matter of fact.
Indeed. Nice to have a human calculator on your team, as I'm sure you can attest to.
Yep, I have that every game.
Minutes still on the Aegis for Aster, but Liquid, in terms of net worth, have the very slight lead right now. An incredibly close game. DD is bottled from Monet, and I'm sure that they're going to want to use it here to at least get a tier 3, if not, try to get a barracks.
That bottom lane is very, very open. Minute 50. I don't know how much is left on the bottle. When did he pick that up? So if he picked it up around 40, it might have been sitting there for a little bit, but should have enough time to maybe connect on a wave. The spinners, snares are starting to make life difficult for Aster. Very annoying.
Techies was deleted, but
I actually think
lives on in Brood.
I was saying this is kind of the new old Techies, spinner, snare. It is incredibly annoying to play against. Don't underestimate how much the mental means, but well, no snares bottom just yet. Monet pops the DD. Glyph. They will get another glyph after this tower falls, mind you, with the changes. So Liquid do have another round of defense for the barracks.
Tower goes finally down.
Yeah, Monet's attack speed is nothing to scoff at. He's got a lot of attack speed items. They have the AC on the Underlord, Mask of Madness activation. Yeah, it's looking pretty good for Aster. This is a big moment now. Liquid will try to find perhaps an angle. Pushing out mid for now. Do they even have any smokes left? They do not. Yeah, they do. They have one on Boxy. So if Liquid do want to challenge something here, they can, but it's a very, very difficult position to access yourself into. You keep scouting them with spinner snare, though. Oh, Monet, will we clip another one? No. XXS, however, he'll find another spinner snare. Sure, he time.
Up, but he notified.
This is not happening.
That is actually hilarious, man. I think it's my first game casting Brewdags.
It's one of those things that's hilarious to watch, and then you're imagining being a player on Aster.
Oh, of course. Of course.
That's
but that's Dota, right?
It is very annoying, let me tell you. All right, Liquid. It's time. As this Aegis expiring just now, Aster will place XXS to cover the high ground. Boxy just goes in.
They know they get the bash up, and Monet is right clicking from afar. Mickey pops the BKB, gets a Laguna Blade, and now they jump on top of Monet and kill him immediately. No buyback for him, and Baboka now stuck between a rock and a hard place. That's a second, make it 3 for Mickey. What a fight, what an initiation with no vision, I'm pretty sure. Not able to get the rebound. Boxy has been playing out of his mind. Now down the mid lane, Liquid goes with a 7K lead, knowing that a lot of these buybacks will not be available. Only the Underlord at the moment.
I mean, you just love the confidence from Boxy, right? The smoke breaks, he instantly just blinks up blindly and pops his ult, and BKB finds a target, the fight breaks out. And Monet tries to come in and help, but they just destroyed him with Marcelina. He didn't even get to play the fight. Probably felt relatively confident with his Butterfly that he had something to stand his ground with, but just not the case. Liquid, are they actually just going to go for it?
They're going to try to go for the throne. They know that Sniper's not back for 60 seconds. Tier 4 is already at half HP. They're going to be able to take it out pretty swiftly. Can Aster actually defend this in a 3v5 situation? Finally, the fortification is popped. They won't have one for the rest of the game in all likelihood if they continue down this mid lane. Unleashes pop for Boxy, just priming and ready to go. One tier 4 down. Will Liquid continue on here? 33 seconds on Monet. Crimson Guard are trying to mitigate a little bit of damage here, but there's the initiation on X. They get the Rupture on and they force step him as well, but he's going to live inside the fountain. But the tier 4 goes down as well, and now on to the Ancient. Ori pops a BKB and Bloodstone, but the is now up to the Ancient for Liquid. All they have to do is right click, then they'll get game 1. Charge in from Baboka, pretty big, but make a continual right click with the data. That's going to be enough. Liquid takes game 1. Unbelievable. I don't know how this team continues to give everybody heart attacks around the world, but I'm close to that right now, Cinderin. Good Lord.
What an amazing way for them to do that. So the